Unmute. Okay. Hello, Ms. Clapper.
Morning. You may want to scoot just this way so that you can take the oath when everyone else takes the oath. Are you okay? All right, you in there? I see all three. In your chair, I look smaller. This one must be really tall.
Good morning.
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
I think we're still waiting on Melinda. There she is. Speak of the devil. She didn't hear me. All right, Melinda,
Yes.
Judge, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh, great. We just unmuted. Okay.
Okay, good. Melinda, you're muted.
Oh,
Huh?
is he saying Melinda? Can you hear?
I can hear you.
Can you hear us,
Okay.
Judge?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, he's talking.
Yes,
ma'am,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you
you.
now.
Okay,
All right,
ready?
we're gonna swear you all in at one.
This one here.
So if you're going to testify today, raise your right hand, please.
Okay, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, you put your hand down. Chambers County Probate Court come to order. First on the docket is 19 CPR 0102, state of Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton. Mr. Oliver? I don't, there's Mr. Oliver. You're muted, Mr. Oliver.
Thank you, Judge. We were just handling a minor technical issue here.
Okay, you can proceed when you're ready, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here on the application to determine heirship on Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton. Just a few statements to orient the court. I represent the applicant Linda Levis, who is the great niece of the decedent. This is not a typical heirship proceeding in that the decedent died more than 50 years ago. There's some real estate and mineral, specifically mineral interests that belong to the decedent's family, and the operator cannot distribute the proceeds without closing this one final link in the chain of title. So that's why we're here today. So we're trying to determine the legal heirs of Ms. Lofton. We've got a couple of witnesses that will present by deposition, but we'd like to start with the applicant, Ms. Linda Levis. So Ms. Levis, would you state your name for the record?
Linda Levis,
And where do you live, Ms. Levis?
Austin, Texas.
What is your relationship to the decedent?
She's my great aunt.
All right, and just to state that another way, she's the sister of your grandmother, is maternal grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with the family and marital history of the decedent?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, we've offered several, or filed several exhibits for the court that we'll be using throughout today. So, Ms. Levis, do you have those exhibits in front of you?
Yes.
All right, I'd like you to refer to Applicants Exhibit One. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Is this a family tree that you prepared?
Yes.
And will this help you explain your testimony to the court?
Yes.
Just to orient the court here, the decedent in this family tree is highlighted in yellow, is that right?
Correct.
And then we believe our Ms. Lofton's heirs are highlighted in green, is that right?
Yes.
All right.
Counsel,
Yes,
This is Dick Dawson. Have you filed that with the court?
we have, Your Honor. We filed that last week.
Counsel, are you going to offer that into evidence?
We can, Your Honor. It's really demonstrative, but certainly we can offer that in.
Seems to me-
If there's no objection, we'd offer exhibits 1 through 7 into evidence at this time.
No
Any
objection.
objection?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, then that'll be accepted in the records, exhibit 1 through 7, and you may proceed, counsel.
Thank you. Okay, so Ms. Levis, when did the decedent in this case, Ms. Lofton, pass away?
She passed away in 1974.
And she is buried here in Chambers County in Winnie, is that right?
That is correct.
The only assets of her estate that you're aware of are some mineral interests that are located here in Chambers County.
Yes,
Have you and your family tried to obtain a copy of her death certificate?
yes,
Have you been able to locate that?
no,
Was Miss Lofton married during her life?
yes.
Who was she married to?
William Riley Lofton.
All right, and was he alive at the time of Miss Lofton's death in 1974?
No, he wasn't.
After he died in, I think that in 1965, is that correct?
Correct.
And did Miss Lofton ever remarry after her husband died?
No,
Did Miss Lofton ever have any children?
no,
Did she adopt any children?
no,
Were either of Miss Lofton's parents alive at the time of her death?
no,
Did Miss Lofton have any siblings? Well, first of all, did she have any siblings at all?
yes.
And who were they?
My grandmother, Leola, and her brother, John, and my aunt, Elsie.
All right. And were any of those siblings, had any of those siblings died before Miss Lofton?
John Snoddy. I'm sorry. My grandmother, Leola, had died.
I see. So she was, so Miss Lofton was survived by 2 of her siblings, John and Elsie,
Yes,
but her sister Leola had died before her.
yes,
All right, well, let's talk about Leola, the sibling who died before Miss Lofton. Did Leola, and her married name was Grammer, is that right?
grammar.
Did Leola Grammer have any children?
Yes.
And who was that?
My mother, Effie Winona Grammer.
All right, and then when she was married, her married name was Levis, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And based on, did she have any other children?
No,
Okay, so and your mother, Effie Winona Grammer Levis, was alive at the time of Miss Lofton's passing.
yes.
All right, Your Honor, at this time we pass the witness.
Counsel.
Would you, Linda Levis, is that right?
Yes,
My name is Dick Dawson. I was appointed by the court. I'm what you call an attorney ad litem. Where do you reside, ma'am?
I reside in Austin, Texas.
Fine. And the decedent is Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And she had 3 siblings. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And one of the siblings was Leola Bell Grammer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so with with the decedent, Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton, having 3 siblings. Of those 3 siblings, only one of them had children. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that would be your grandmother, Leola Grammer, right?
Yes.
And so of all the heirs of Emily Isabel Snoddy, with the siblings dying and having no children, the only ones that have children was your grandmother, Leola, and she had 1 child and only 1 child. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that would be your mother. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you believe that you're an heir of Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to call her the decedent. Is that all right, ma'am?
Okay.
And the decedent lived and died and is buried in Winnie, Chambers County, Texas. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And the only estate is minerals. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Her husband predeceased her in 1965. Is that right?
Yes.
No children.
No children.
Okay. And other than traffic tickets, have you ever had any trouble with the law?
No, sir.
Have you been promised anything for your testimony?
No, sir.
Okay, well, ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you. That's all I have. I pass the witness.
Thank you, Council.
We have nothing further, Your Honor. Nothing further from this witness, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness.
Your Honor, this time we offer we filed with the court the depositions on written questions for Sandra McLaurin Reagan and John Craner Jr. Both of those are on file with the court, and we'd offer their testimony on this matter as well.
Mr. Dawson.
Judge, I've had an opportunity to review the written questions on Sandra McLaughlin Reagan. I've been afforded the opportunity to object or to impose any questions. I have none, and I have no objection to those being admitted, Judge.
Okay, then they are admitted to the record. And you're ready to, Mr. Dawson, I see you signed off on the judgment declaring heirship, so you agree to it?
I do.
All right, then I hereby approve the judgment declaring heirship in cause number 102 on the estate of Emily Isabel Snoddy Lofton.
We agreed on attorney's fees. Is that right, Mr. Albert?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay, is that all you had today, Mr. Oliver? Or you?
That is, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You may be, and I'll quit getting those letters, receivership from the oil company on this.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, cause number 51, the state of Linda Joy Miller.
Hello, this is Mary Miller. Yes, sir.
Where are you, Miss Miller?
I'm,
Oh, there,
can you see me?
I see you now.
There you
What
go.
about Attorney Wingate?
Yes. He's not here?
I'm looking for him. I got about 20 pictures on my screen, so it's
I
kind of,
got you.
He's muted, Judge.
he is.
Oh.
I don't
Yes.
even see him.
I just clicked to ask him to unmute.
Okay, thank you, Austin.
I apologize, Your Honor. We're on.
There you go. All right, we've already sworn you in, so you may proceed, Counselor.
Yes, sir. Miss Miller, you are the daughter and heir of Linda Joy Miller that died on December 14th, 2020 in Winnie, Chambers County, Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 4 years have not elapsed since the decedent's death. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
This court has jurisdiction venue over the estate that she lived in Jefferson County Chambers County at the time of her death. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
To the best of your knowledge, the decedent died test date and her will was signed on November 16th, 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been shown a copy of the will, Ms. Miller, and you recognize your mother's signature, and you recognize that to be your mother's last will and testament signature, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, has that will ever been revoked?
No, sir.
Okay. After the date of the will, no child was born or adopted. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
No marriage was ever dissolved after the will was made. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
The will names you as independent executor. Are you capable to handle that capacity, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, you've seen the proof of death, proof of proof of death and other facts, and you are having that notarized here shortly so that the court can proceed with the probate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, am I missing anything else that we need to go over in the proof of death or other facts? We're a little different in Jefferson County, so I apologize if I'm missing anything.
All right, I think you covered it all, Counselor, and I hereby admit the will of probate and authorize letters.
Thank you, Your Honor. We appreciate it.
Good day, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, cause number 52, the state of Samuel Joseph DiMaggio. Ms. Clapper, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Is your name Sharon Johnson DiMaggio?
Yes,
And was your husband Samuel Joseph DiMaggio?
yes,
And he lived here in Chambers County for 14 years prior to his death on March the 27th of this year.
yes,
And Chambers County has jurisdiction over not only his person, but his estate. He has property that's located here in Chambers County.
yes.
Now, you were married to Mr. DiMaggio for how many years?
42,
Okay. He was married twice during his lifetime, was he not?
yes,
The first time was to Patricia Rogers,
that's correct.
and they divorced in Harris County in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yes,
There were 4 children born during that marriage: Joseph Paul DiMaggio, Samuel DiMaggio, Becky Sue DiMaggio, and Jody Lynn DiMaggio, Becky Sue DiMaggio Deal. Now, those 4 children, and at this time, Your Honor, I would offer my affidavit that has been filed and is before the court, where the copy of the application, the copy of the will, and a waiver, if they would kindly sign a waiver, was mailed to them by certified mail, and all of them have been served during the month of May. Due to the changing of the date of this probate, they were notified of the 17th or 18th, whatever the first date was. But no one has sent their waiver. However, Miss Deal did have the courtesy to call, and she's talked to everyone, and it appears that they all agree. But so they have received notice pursuant to the estate code by certified mail of all of the documents filed in this case. But more importantly, Ms. DiMaggio, in the will, which is now before you, correct?
yes,
Are any of these children designated beneficiary of the will?
no,
All right. In fact, the will, after 42 years, has given you what y'all have accumulated together.
correct.
That was the reason he called and was so desperate to have a will, was it not?
Yes,
Did you, and he, after your marriage of 42 years, did you ever have a child or adopt a child during that time?
No, we did not.
Do you know of any other child that was born to or adopted by him during his lifetime?
No.
All right, and was his will after this was signed on March the 12th, if I recall. He was dying of cancer, was he not?
Yes.
All right. On March the 12th of 2021, you were present, were you not?
I was.
And Shirley Weaver, myself, witnessed the will,
Yes.
and Rob Clapper notarized it.
Yes.
It was one of those situations where he wanted the will, let me know what to put in it, and we came there and he was quite happy that it was done, was he not?
He was.
He's very, very wanting that to be done. So you recognize the signature and you recognize the will.
Yes.
And did he at any time after signing it on March 12th revoke the will?
No, he didn't.
And this will does not establish a charitable organization or any governmental entity as a beneficiary. You are the beneficiary.
Correct.
And there's no government agency having a claim against the state as well.
No, there's not.
So 4 years has not elapsed. Everyone has notice, and you are willing to accept the oath today and become the executor and do what your husband wanted you to do with the property.
Yes.
That's all, Your Honor.
Hereby admit the will of probate and authorized letters. Thank you, ma'am. Calls number 2153, the state of Robert Carson Abrams.
That's me, Your Honor.
There you are, Mr. Bath.
Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. The decedent, Robert Carson Abrams, died on January 6, 2021 in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 95 years. Prior to and at the time of his death, decedent had a domicile or fixed place of residence in Chambers County, Texas. Decedent left a written will dated June 6, 1998, which to my knowledge was never revoked, and it was self-proved as provided by law. There's no necessity for the administration of this estate. The decedent's estate does not owe any unpaid debts. No child or children were born to or adopted by decedent after the date of the will. No marriage of the decedent was dissolved after the execution of the will, whether by divorce, annulment, or declaration that the marriage was void. No charitable organization, state, or agency of the state is named by the will as a devisee. That's all my testimony, Your Honor.
Admit the will of probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
You may be. Calls number 54, the state of Arthur Clinton McMichael. Clint, I saw you. There you are. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
You may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you. First, Your Honor, I call Clinton McMichael. Mr. McMichael, what's your relationship to the decedent?
I'm his son.
And did your father die on February 23rd, 2021?
Correct.
And he died at Baytown, Harris County, Texas, correct?
Correct.
And he was 90 years old?
Correct.
He had a will dated January 13, 2012, correct?
Yes.
And that will is in front of you and you recognized his signature. Is that the signature of your father?
It is.
Okay. Was there a child or children born after that date of this will to your dad?
No.
Okay. At the time of the execution of the will, was your dad of sound mind of at least 18 years of age?
Yes.
Okay. Did he have a marriage dissolved after this will was made?
No.
Okay. Has 4 years elapsed since his death and our application to probate this will?
It's 4 years.
4 years elapsed
No.
since it's okay.
No.
And this, who is the devisee under this will? It's your mother, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the state of Texas or a charity was not a devisee under the will, correct?
Correct.
And there's a necessity for the administration of the will?
Yes.
Okay. And the will appoints you and your stepsister as co-executors, independent co-executors. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is there any reason why you should be disqualified from being the executor of the will?
No.
I have no further questions of this witness, Judge.
Well, I know him pretty well. I don't know if he may not qualify.
I
Sorry to hear about your dad.
went a little slow. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right. All right. Hereby admit to will of probate and authorize letters.
Well, Judge, we have the co-executor also.
Oh, you
here.
do?
Yes, Judge. Do you want to
Where's-
hear from her or, because they're both independent co-executors?
You can ask her if she'll answer the same. Go ahead.
Okay. Would you please state your name for the record?
Christina Call Maxwell.
And Christina, if I asked you all the questions that I just asked your stepbrother, would you answer substantially the same?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
That'll work. Now hereby admit to will of probate.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Take
May
care.
we be excused?
You may be.
Thank you.
All right. Cause number 56, the state of David Wingfield.
We had,
There you are.
alluded to, is she, do you see her on the screen, Your Honor?
Miss.
Yeah, she just waved.
I see her. Yeah, she's there. All right. Have we already sworn you in, ma'am? Or you on there?
Yes, sir.
All right. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your name is Lindsay Knight, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And your dad was David Wingfield?
Yes, sir.
He passed away on April the 23rd of this year in Winnie and had his fixed place of residence in Chambers County on the date of his death. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
He had a signed written will dated January 24th of 2019.
Yes, sir.
And as far as you know, he never revoked that will.
Correct.
He didn't leave anything to any governmental entity or any charities.
No, sir.
And he didn't have any children born to or adopted to him after the date of the will.
No, sir.
And he didn't get divorced or have any marriage dissolved after the date of the will. He never got divorced after the date of the will.
No, sir.
Okay. And the will named you to be the independent executor of his estate.
Yes, sir.
And you're not disqualified in any way from serving as the independent executor?
No, sir.
Okay. And you've had an opportunity to review this proof of death and other facts before coming in today to do the hearing?
Yes, sir.
And you've signed this in front of a notary and it's been filed with the court?
Yes, sir.
And all this information is true and correct?
Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Your Honor. She's got to sign her oath, Your Honor, and we're going to get that done hopefully today and get that filed with the court before the end of the week.
Okay, sounds good. Everybody admit to will of probate.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, cause number 57, the state of Richard Allen Turney.
We are ready, Judge.
You may
I've got-
proceed, counsel.
Thank you. You're Belinda Turney, is that true?
Yes,
And Ms. Turney, you're here today regarding the estate of your late husband, Richard Allen Turney, is that true?
yes,
Okay, I understand that Mr. Turney passed away on or about April 21st of 2021, is that true?
yes,
And he passed in Beaumont, Jefferson County, Texas, but he resided permanently in Winnie, Chambers County, Texas, is that true?
yes,
Mr. Turney was 68 years of age, is that right?
yes,
And of course, 4 years have not elapsed since his passing. Is that true?
True.
We believe we're in the proper court with as far as jurisdiction and venue because of his having resided in Chambers County. Is that right?
yes,
And Mr. Turney executed a last will and testament on September 19th, 2020 at your home in Winnie. Is that true?
yes,
And I'm showing you a true and correct copy of that will, that the original of which we have filed with the Chambers County Clerk. And do you recognize your husband's signature on page 3 at the end of the will, and then on the self-proving affidavit attached as page 5?
yes.
Okay. We believe the will's been on file, citation and service for the appropriate amounts of time pursuant to the state's code. Is that true?
Yes.
And there's a necessity for administration of his estate. Is that true?
Yes,
Okay. Again, we believe the will was self-proved. That's true.
yes,
And he never revoked the will after the date of his signing. Is that true?
true,
And the will doesn't name any governmental agency or charitable organization as a beneficiary. Is that true?
Yes, that's
No,
true.
no child was born to or adopted by Mr. Attorney after the date of the will. Is that true?
True.
No marriage was ever dissolved by Mr. Attorney after the date of the will. Is that true?
Yes.
And you are named to serve as independent executor in his last will and testament. Is that true?
Yes.
And you're not disqualified for any reason to serve. Is that right?
Right.
And you're entitled to letters, and you're asking Judge Sylvia to admit your husband's will to probate and to order the clerk to issue letters testamentary so that you can carry out handle the affairs of his estate. Is that true?
Yes.
We've got a proof of death and other facts and an oath that you're about to sign in front of a notary public that will file with the court. Is that true?
Yes.
Everything in those documents is true and correct. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, that's all I have unless you need anything further.
No, sir. A little probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Have a good day.
You too.
Melinda, I don't see calls number 57 in my queue, so you'll have to queue it up and send it over. It could have been there and I might have accidentally sent it back. All right, calls number 58, state of Ava Jeanette
Dukerpont, Judge. Dukerpont, Judge.
Dukerpont, just like looks, no. All right, you may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. I need Miss Stevens to unmute herself. She's.
Ms. Stevens, we can't see you or hear you at the
Well,
moment.
I can see her, Judge, but she
Oh, you
is
can?
muted.
Okay,
It looks like her, there she
there
goes.
she is.
Can you hear us, Miss
Mute
Stevens?
yourself.
You got
Miss
to,
Stevens, if you're joined by, it looks like you're joined by phone. If you will hit *6 to unmute.
Thank you, Austin.
Austin, tell her again.
Miss Stevens, if you can hear me, it appears that you're joined by telephone for audio. If you will, please hit *6 to unmute yourself.
Can you hear us?
I can.
Okay, good. All right, perfect. Thank you, Judge.
You may proceed.
Thank you. State your name for the court, please.
Phyllis K. Stevens.
And did Iva Jeanette Dukerpont die on March the 10th, 2021 in Baytown, Texas at the age of 80?
Yes, that is correct.
And 4 years have not elapsed since the date of her death?
No.
The court has jurisdiction and venue. Is that because they had a residence here in Chambers County?
Yes.
And Ms. Dukerpont died with a will that was dated November 17th, 2017, if that's correct.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. Did Ms. Dukerpont have a will dated November 17th, 2017, and she's never revoked that will?
Yes.
Okay. And in that will, she has named actually her husband, Noah Dukerpont, to be the independent executor. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
But he has waived his right to those letters in favor of you as you are the successor independent executor. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Dukerpont did not leave any of her estate to a governmental entity or a charitable organization. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you're asking the court today to issue you letters of testamentary and be the independent executive for the estate. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you are qualified to serve.
Yes.
That's all I have, Judge.
All right, you're right, Mr. Wood, probate and authorized letters. Thank you, lady.
Judge. Thank
good
you
day.
very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, cause number 59, the state of Donald Sanders. Mr. Cotton,
Good morning, Judge.
you may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Donald Sanders died November 20th, 2019 in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas at the age of 90 years, and 4 years have not elapsed since his death. On file with the court is his will dated the 20th of August, 2019, which asks that you take judicial notice that you have the original in your possession. I'm looking at a copy.
All right, so done.
Thank you, sir. He had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the time of his death. And this will, which was dated the 20th of August, 2019, has never been revoked so far as I know. There is a necessity for the administration of the estate. His will was self-proved. There is no governmental agency, charitable organization, or no state governmental agency or charitable organization named in the will. No child or children were born to or adopted by him after the date of the will, and no marriage was ever dissolved after the date his will was made. His will named Gail Morrison to serve as the independent executor, and she is qualified and not disqualified to serve as the independent executor judge. We've asked that she be appointed. It is a small estate. We'd ask the appraisers be waived.
So done. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge. Good to see you again.
You too.
May I be excused?
You may be.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Calls number 60, the state of David Kenneth Parrish. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning.
Mr. Baker, how are you?
Fine, Judge.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. Judge, we're here on an application to probate the last will and testament of David Kenneth Parrish. And of course, we all knew him as Kenny or Peanut. And so if I say Kenny, that's who I mean. Correct, Cindy?
Correct.
All right. And we asked that if, when we submit the proof, that it be admitted to probate as muniment of title. And so you are Cynthia Miranda Parrish, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you, at the time Kenny died, you were married to him, right?
Yes.
And y'all married in 23 February of 1982.
Yes.
All right. Now, at the time you married Kenny, he already had one child, right?
Correct.
And her name is?
Carolyn, Beth Parrish.
Beth, yes. And then after y'all married, you had Kenny had three more children, which are also your children.
Correct.
And their names are Derek Jacob Parrish, Brittany Rose Parrish, and Tori McKenna Parrish, right?
Yes.
Now, of course, Brittany's name is Sonia now, but that's
Right.
okay. And now, is it true that he had no other children
No other children.
by birth or adoption? Is that
Correct.
correct? Okay. Now, y'all resided at 1204 South Kansas in Anahuac, Texas, right?
Correct.
And your mailing address is P.O. Box 991 in Anahuac, Texas, correct? All right. Now, Kenny was born in Livingston, Texas, 1 July 1952, right?
That's correct.
And then he passed away in Chambers County, Texas on 10 November 2020,
Yes.
age of 68 years.
Yes.
Okay. Now, at the time, he left a will that is dated 16 January 1984 that was witnessed by Mary Louise Witherspoon and Cynthia Clark. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you handed the original of that will to me, right?
Yes.
And Judge, do you have the original with you that I delivered?
Yes, it's filed. It's the clerk's office.
All right, thank you. And now, is that Kenny's last will and testament?
Yes.
All right. And if he had ever revoked it or done another one, you would have known about it, right? Okay. Now, is it also true that neither the state of Texas nor a charitable entity is named as a beneficiary in the will, correct?
Correct.
And this will, Judge, if you'll take notice of the dates, we waited till 181 days after Kenny died because the will makes the gift to Cindy conditional on her surviving him by 180 days. And so if you would take notice that she is here and survived him by 180 days.
So done.
All right, thank you. And it does, although we do have children born after the date of the will, we had 3 children born after the date of the will. It's a conditional provision, so she will be the sole devisee under the will. Okay, now is it also true, Cindy, that Kenny did not apply for or receive Medicaid benefits on or after 1 March 2005?
That's correct.
All right, and since you're the sole beneficiary, it's easier to say for me. Since you're the sole beneficiary, is there any necessity for an affidavit saying you distributed property to yourself?
No.
No. And so, Judge, we're going to ask that you waive that. Now, also, there is no need for an administration. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The debts are paid. We're doing this to pass title to you.
Right.
Okay. Judge, with that, I ask that you waive that affidavit requirement, admit the will to probate as a minimum of title, and sign the, oh, one more thing, I'm sorry. You have read a document entitled Proof of Death and Other Facts. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're gonna sign it immediately at the end of this
Yes.
hearing, and everything in there is true and correct. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, now I'm finished, Judge.
All right, I approve it as minimum of title and approve your waiver, yes, for also Counselor Cindy, you doing okay?
Yes, I am.
Good. All right. Thank you, Counselor. Cindy, take care.
Thank you.
File number 62, the state of Audrey Marion Desmo. Ms. Clapper, you're muted. When you get unmuted, you may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes, ma'am.
State your name for the court, please.
Carla Dawn Desmond.
All right. And Ms. Desmo, you knew Audrey Marion Desmo?
Yes, ma'am.
She was your mother-in-law
Yes, ma'am.
for
21 years.
21 years. All right. And Audrey Marion Desmo died, did she die on April 24th of this year at the age of 94
Yes, ma'am.
as a result of a terrible car wreck in Baytown, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
Little did we think 2 years ago when we did this will that we would be here in June of 2021, did we? No. I'm gonna, she had a residence here on Posky Road, 3807 for more than, I think, 20 years prior to her death, did she not?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And during her lifetime, she was married 3 times.
Yes.
The first marriage was to Joseph C. Desmo, which, yes.
Yes.
And they divorced in 1959 in Alabama. Were any children born during that marriage or adopted during that marriage?
No.
The second was DeRoy Morris Jr., which ended in his death in 1998. Was any child born to or adopted during that marriage?
No.
Then the third marriage was again to Joseph C. Desmo, and that ended with his death on March 22nd of 2019. And was any child born to or adopted during that marriage?
No.
To your knowledge, did Audrey Marion Desmo have any children born to her or adopted to her or, quote, raised by her during her lifetime?
No.
All right. I'm showing you the will dated June 24th, 2019. And are you familiar with Ms. Desmo's signature?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that her signature?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, she was not able to drive, was she?
No.
So did you drive her here that day? I can't remember. All right. But you see that the will is self-proved, 2 witnesses, and also before the notary, Cynthia Clark. Was any, you've read over it, was any charity or governmental entity named as a beneficiary in the will?
No.
All right. And the will does name your husband, Joseph Desmo Jr., to be the executor, but he signed a waiver because he travels a lot.
Right.
And he's asking you to step in as successor named executor to assume the responsibility of probating the will,
Yes, ma'am.
determining errors and all that stuff during that period of time. And you're willing to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not precluded by any type of criminal history or moral turpitude that would exclude you from being a fiduciary at all.
No, ma'am.
All right. Now, the will names the sole beneficiary to be Joseph C. Desmo, correct? That's your husband? All right. And you're asking the court today to approve this application, to also approve the proof of death and other facts which you have filed. And you're telling the court that she didn't revoke the will during those 2 years before her death this year in 2021.
No.
And she didn't marry anybody during those 2 years or have another child, any child, or have a divorce or anything like that. You're asking the court to approve the will, to put it into probate, to handle whatever needs to be done on behalf of Ms. Desmond. That's all, Your Honor.
All right, so done. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Desmond, take care.
Thank you, Judge. Y'all have a great day.
You too. So Melinda, we've got another Zoom for the other one, for the other docket, I lost the word, been off too long. Forfeiture docket. Thank you.
Melinda, you're mute. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, sir. Kaylee's down here with me and we're fixing to come upstairs.
Okay.
Okay, you said we could do it right there in the courtroom and she's thinking everything's cleared up, but I think we still have to be on record. You
Yeah,
know?
we need to.
Yeah, so we're on our way yet.
Sounds good.
Okay.